everybody, it's Steph from Adventure in a Backpack. Welcome to the third episode of Know Your Brand. Know Your Brand is a video series showcasing companies who are doing their part in reducing their negative impact on Earth.
We had a chance to meet with an awesome person and a bit of a celebrity in the running community, Barefoot Ted McDonald. Barefoot Ted is one of the pioneers in the modern idea of barefoot and minimalist shoe styles for running. He was one of the main characters in Christopher McDougall's best-selling book, Born to Run. He is also the founder of the company highlighted in this episode of Know Your Brand, Luna Sandals.
In an interesting way, it ends up becoming what looks like low technology and kind of primitive on some level, ends up actually being a very elegant solution to the problem of moving over the world.
The idea behind Luna Sandals stems from Barefoot Ted's years and years of running, coupled with his study of some of the best runners in the world, the Tarahumara tribe from Copper Canyon in Mexico. Part of the reason these runners are so accomplished is because of their ability to cover long distances quickly due to their lack of injury that usually comes with distance running. You may feel like this is turning into a running speech rather than a conservation episode, but stick with us. During our time visiting Luna Sandals, we came to the conclusion that sustainable human movement is effective conservation.
This is truly a unique idea. We have talked in depth about how reducing waste is conservation, so let's talk about that even further. Luna Sandals is all about building a deeper connection to the earth through promoting injury-free movement. That being said, at the root of it, what is injury? Could we agree that injury is wasteful? I believe we could. When you get injured, you're taking steps backward, and during the recovery, you're spending time building back up to where you were when you could have just been taking the many more steps forward. This is time in your life that is essentially wasted. Injury is waste.
Are all reflections of the externalization of our ecology through us into our lives. And, if you're in a world that doesn't care about people, or you don't care about yourself, or the food or the things that you're eating aren't safe or good, or whatever, those ultimately end up reflecting in human bodies in how they become in the world they're living in. And we want, ultimately, human beings seem to err on the side, if they have they're cut through the chase, get rid of all the anxiety and the fear, and they just, what do you want? Well, to be healthy and happy, my family, me, to be able to have clean food.
So how does Luna Sandals help decrease this waste? Well, all of their sandals, whether performance or style-based, are all designed from the same pattern of sandal that Barefoot Ted purchased from a Tarahumara shoemaker, which was made out of a leather strap and a tire tread. This simple style of sandal is not a piece of equipment that is meant to be a mechanical change or support for your foot, but it is instead designed to bring a piece of the earth in the form of protection to your foot so you can move as Mother Nature intended. This is meant to reduce injury as well as bring you closer to nature.
You're walking on the beach, you're in your barefoot, you're vulnerable, you're directly connected to terra firma. And it happens to be associated with feeling good and clean, safe environment. You don't see bare feet, you don't conjure that up in an ugly, desolate urban scene.
I think that we can all agree that one of the best feelings is to walk barefoot through the sand on a beach. It is truly addicting. Luna Sandals exploits this feeling and believes that their minimalist style will help to lessen the sedentary lifestyle of humans. A sedentary lifestyle due to a lack of movement is waste.
These guys that were pulling the wheels in the various places in the world they were pulling it were the bottom of the barrel of the working class. And they were barely making enough money to fuel themselves. Get it? It was a problem. And so it ended up becoming associated with poverty and abuse of class and all of that. Unfortunate, because the poor buggers couldn't eat.
To sum up this unique view of conservation, I just want to repeat the 3 key points we've already mentioned. Injury is waste. A sedentary lifestyle is waste. And lastly, sustainable human movement is effective conservation.
As we have learned, companies have their very own, very different viewpoint on conservation, yet there are always a few similarities. Luna Sandals uses defective tire treads as the soles of their sandals. Now, by defective, we mean that there was a defect in the tire which made it unfit to be used on a car traveling 70 plus miles an hour for 40,000 miles. Yet they're still perfectly awesome to make a sandal. These defective tires would otherwise feed a landfill or go through a super non-eco-friendly grinding up process for disposal or reuse.
We've become better at knowing what we need to do to you be less wasteful, to be more environmentally friendly, to be able to imagine into the future where we can even do better and more. But you need a company that's viable in order to do that. You can't make something that's super environmentally friendly that's not useful. I found a material that was ground up tire tread, then formulated into a soling like a material that was being used like as gym mats and stuff like that. You've seen that, right?
Yeah.
So I thought, that might make a good, replacement for soling materials. But what I found in the end was a couple things that was disappointing. Number one, the process of grinding up tires to make them into mats and the kind of glue that you have to use to do that, we can't say is ultimately the most. It might be actually better and safer if you just let the tire alone. This is what I learned. It was like, God. And then on top of that, if it wasn't already bad enough to like break my heart in thinking I'd gone in the right direction, was the realization that they don't even last anywhere near as long as a cheaper, crappier, safer ultimately material than that. So it was like, luckily it was only a model, and this is like in 2009. I think this is before we even become officially Luna Sandals, which is 2010. So I was doing a lot of.
It's really fun on our end to hear stories like this where a company tried to do something eco-friendly, it didn't work, then they found another way to do it that did work. It really goes to show that we're all human.
Our last fun fact about Luna sandals. You've probably seen the grass-fed beef label at the grocery store. The sandals that Luna makes that have a leather strap actually use leather from grass-fed cattle, which promotes a more sustainable style of cattle farming and helps make sure that no parts of the cattle go to waste. This is another small step that aims to make a big difference.
We hope you enjoyed this episode with Luna Sandals, and we're happy you now know your brand.